What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Trey Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Rashawn. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Art In Motion Autocare, a high-end auto shop in Toronto, specializing in vehicle wraps, window tinting, wheels and tires, and much more. He has built a brand focused on quality, precision, tuning cars, and much more. Welcome, my brother Niro, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Of course. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, man. I'm so grateful to actually have you on this show and, hear about your story. And I'm very excited, man. Appreciate you doing this, bro.
Thank you so much for having me too, bro. You got some big things cooking yourself. So
thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
To be a part of that,
Thank you. So obviously, I just want to know how you got into this and where did this whole dream and concept come to life?
So pretty much, it all started as a little kid. I used to just tinker with cars and break apart my little toy Hot Wheels, and it became the bigger die-cast models. And my mom always said this guy's gonna be a mechanic or something,
You already knew since then.
Yeah, there was one day where my parents came home, and I think it was my aunt or someone that was watching us. And I had that, I don't know, everyone still has, my son still has it now. It's that red and yellow looking McDonald's looking car.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so my mom came home and she saw me underneath the car tinkering with it with just plastic screwdrivers and whatever, just trying to do some stuff with it, you know? And she just knew this is what my field is gonna be. And thankfully I had supportive parents that were able to be by my side and supported my dreams of just being a mechanic, that elevated to what it is today.
I was actually going to wonder too, was just if you had any repercussions or concerns about being a mechanic, or did you have any other interests, other things too?
Yeah. So, I do have a passion for quite a few things.
Yeah.
One thing with me is I love to learn. We were talking about this right even before the podcast.
Before we started.
I love to learn. I love to learn new things no matter what. And, I'm not just good at the automotive side.
Yeah.
People that really know me, they know that I'm really good at pretty much anything hands-on, bro, I can do plumbing, I could do electrical, I could do woodworking, I could and I love to cook. So there was a few things that I wanted to get into, as I got older.
Yeah.
One of them was to be a chef. And the third thing was actually to be a cop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't even know that. But I was brought up in the hood, in Rexdale, and between Rexdale and Jane and Finch, we were bouncing back and forth. But I want to be a cop at one point too, and just get into that field. But I knew truly deep down into my core that it was always cars,
Yeah.
And at 11 years old, we didn't even talk about this, but at 11 years old, I got my first job. And I actually had 2 jobs.
Oh, wow.
At 11 years old.
Holy crap.
And it was pumping gas at a gas station, at a Beaver gas station at Weston Road in Finch. If you guys remember, back in the early 2000s, it was a Beaver gas station. Now it's I think it's an Ultramar or something. Whatever. It's a blue and white gas station now. But I used to work there. One of my uncles was working there. He was a manager there.
Yeah.
And obviously at 11 years old, you can't work. But back then, it was a lot easier than it is now. So it was cash. I was already pretty much almost 6 feet tall at 11 years old. So I didn't really look like I was a kid. But basically, I would leave school. My uncle would pick me up, and I would go to Tor York and Weston Road, which is where all the automotive shops are in Toronto. So a lot of people that have shops out there, they know. Shout out SLS. They were one of the first shops that I actually did co-op at. When I was in high school, and they were right across the street from M5 Car Care, which was one of my mom's youngest brothers. He had a detail shop there, so he would pick me up. I would go detail cars from say 4:30ish to about 9 o'clock whenever we finish up, and then from there I would go to my mom's other sister's husband's gas station, and I would work there pumping gas, full service gas station. So back then, we had real winters where you had snow that was 5 feet of snow, and that was the norm. You were in minus 30, minus 40 degrees every day. It wasn't a crazy extreme cold alert like how we get now. Back then it was normal, right?
Yeah.
So, but we'll get into a story how when I met my wife and how her mom and her grandma actually knew me. From that gas station. We'll get into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was your first car that you actually worked on? At what age?
So my first car I worked on was pretty much I'd say at like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
So same time when I was working at the detail shop and the gas station.
Yeah.
Right before that, like I was just, again, like I was working on like friends' cars that were in the neighborhood, like meaning my dad's friends.
Yeah.
I was detailing, just like shampooing carpets and doing small things. But I believe I was like 10 or 11 years old when I touched my first car right before I got that job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you at all feel any like worry about like starting this? Like, oh, am I going to do the right job? Do I have any?
100%. Bro, I have doubts even now, brother.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, am I doing the right thing even right now? Yeah, 1000%. Like I had no idea where it would go.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was doing. Straight up, like I was just learning, you know, like I was just a little kid.
Yeah.
And when I was 11, it was 2001. I'm a 1990 baby, so
yeah.
2001, like Fast and Furious came out, right?
Oh, the ideal time too was just when it's coming out.
That's when, you know, all this. I'm allowed to swear in here?
Yeah, you can swear,
yeah, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah. So that's where like in the first minute,
fucking shit was getting crazy with cars. Like people were putting like crazy strobes and underglows and audio systems and rims, spinners, like shit that like a lot of stuff is not even around now that we're trying to bring back, to be honest. You know what I mean? And so before Fast and Furious even came out, that scene was already there.
Yeah.
Right? Dark Knights was already there. If you guys know what Dark Knights is, like, yo, we were chilling in Martin Grove and Highway 7 at like 9 years old, 10 years old with our like uncles and dads, chilling with them, you know, and seeing these cars pull up to Timmy's back then in 1999, 2000.
Holy crap.
Right? Where I don't even know how old you are, but maybe
I'm 29.
Okay, so you're close enough in age, right? But a lot of these kids don't even know what that is, you know?
No, exactly.
We'd meet up there, we'd see all the cars, and we'd pull up to Langstaff, and there was the runs.
Yeah.
Back then, you know? And I was a little kid, and like that drive just like pushed me to just want to work on cars more. And, you know, and like my thing with my dad.
Yeah.
We used to like look forward to every weekend because we would go to garage sales.
Yeah.
So like garage sales were big back then, you know?
Yeah.
So we would wait for Saturday, Sunday to go to garage sales and go to the flea market. That was our thing. So
flea markets, oh man.
The best.
Yeah, the best.
Right? So we'd go there for what? CDs, right? Back in the days, you'd go get some audios. Like I had binders of CDs.
Yeah.
And because audio was big back then, we'd go there for the CDs and we'd go see like my boy Lucky at the flea market, or I'd see my boy that had OZ Motorsports.
Yeah.
And they had their locations at the flea market. And we'd go there and I'd get like a seat cover, like a steering wheel cover.
Was this the location by airport?
Yeah.
The old one, right?
Yes.
I missed that flea market so much.
The best, right?
Yeah.
And it's sad that they took that down because like so many businesses started from there too, right? And we'd go there and like I would save little by little, like from the work that I was doing.
Yeah.
And I also had a newspaper job too. So like I technically had 3 jobs. So, you know, we'd throw the newspaper. So everything that I saved, we would save up to go on the weekends to go to these garage sales and like buy like cool, you know, stuff that we see there, like whether it's car stuff. My parents work at a place called Paradigm Electronics. It's like one of the #1 home audio system.
Yeah.
They've been there for like 37, 38 years.
Amazing.
So we'd go find like old amps and like, you know, back then people had big towers.
Yeah.
We'd go and find these cool little, you know, like stuff and we'd buy them, right? And then there was this one time where there was a old 1989 Civic. That was my first car. It was an 89 Civic hatchback in red, manual. And this car was sitting there and it was at the flea market, at not the flea market, at the garage sale.
Yeah.
And at a for sale sign. And I just looked at the guy, I'm like, how much for this thing, you know? And I saved up some money.
Yeah.
And bro, back then, $700 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's like having like 10 grand now.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty much. And he told me the price and I was like, hey, listen, like I work on cars, I do audio. Like I was doing a lot of audio back then.
Yeah.
Right? And I was installing audio. And the guy, like, he just, I don't know what it was. Like, he wanted way more, but he just loved that I had a passion for it and I knew what I was talking about. And bro, he gave it to me. I'm like, I have $700 in my account. Like, that's all I've saved for like maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
You know? Or like a year or whatever it was. And he's like, I want you to have this car.
Wow.
Right? And bro, like I bought the car and Lucky knows me from back then, bro. I would buy anything I could. Every weekend I would go see him. I changed out the lights to the black headlights, black tail lights. Just putting in like changing the shift knob, just small little things. I was a little kid, you know. I put hubcaps on the car, bro.
But you know, I was thinking too, it was just like, yo, you probably appreciated those moments so much more to look forward to on that weekend because 1000%. Of when you got that money, it was hard earned. But you 100%. Learned that at such a young age.
Yeah, bro.
That's
and
crazy.
A lot of people don't even have jobs, even at like 20 years old. They haven't had their first job yet.
Yeah.
You know? And sadly, I mean, that's just the way our world is going now because people are just lazy, sadly. you know, and even COVID did not help that at all. It made people that already had jobs even lazier, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, coming from that, like, it's just, yeah, you look forward to that. So we'd go and we'd find cool things for our cars or our houses or whatever it was. And that was like my other big thing. And I didn't say, like, my second biggest passion currently is homes. And I want to be like an interior designer and like build custom homes. So eventually, like, that will be something that I want to start. Right?
Was that something that gravitated your attention as you got older, or was that something that you always had to?
1000%. As I got older, like, you know, growing up, we came from nothing. A lot of people don't know the story, but I was born and raised in Rexdale, / Jane and Finch. We were bouncing back and forth. Like, that's our roots. And, you know, we grew up in a place where we had an apartment building that was the size of a shoebox. Like, it's like 300, 400 square feet, where it was a living room, a small bathroom, a 1-bedroom where me, my sister, my mom, and my dad lived, you know? And at the same time, you have cockroaches and mice just running around like it's normal. You know, back then I would pick it up like it was gross. Yeah, it's gross to say it now, but like, we used to play with this. We used to play with this shit, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in an era where we're eating like mayonnaise and bread or sardine and bread, bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, when we look at the things that we have now, there's never a day that goes by where I don't appreciate what I have, or I don't I don't savor the taste that's in my mouth as I'm eating what I eat. Yeah, it feels good because I talk about this all the time, is that, like, no matter what, I will do everything legit. Like, I'm Tamil, bro. Yeah. And like, we come from a background where a lot of people would just like look at you in a way where like differently, or like, he must have done this to do this to get that. Yeah. And that's the reality of our upbringing and like our surrounding and like who people made us be. But bro, there's good people here. You know? Like, I will forever appreciate being able to walk forward and hold my kids' hands like this and not have to look over my shoulders. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the way I was raised, right? Yeah. So looking at all the things that we had to go through in life growing up and like what we didn't have and what we have now, 1000%, bro, makes you appreciate every single thing that you have. Yeah. And as you grow, you're elevating and you like different things. You learn to have a passion for different things, which the homes became that, right?
From that, experience and stuff. Yeah. And I think it's so fascinating, and obviously, like, hats off to you, is the fact that you always are trying to learn and evolve, but also in different avenues of business. So do you think because you obviously had like an early start of learning about business at such, 11 years old?
11 years old, yeah.
That kind of just continued to grow with you as well?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Like I love my parents to death. They're my best friends. You know, my mom, my dad, shout out to them. Like, they give me everything I have. Even to this day, like, my mom would try to put $100 bill in my pocket, even though we got it now. You know what I mean? Like, moms, I'm trying to take care of you, you know? You know, growing up with nothing and then having that hunger to like be where you are now, I just feel like it doesn't matter that I started at a young age. I still feel like every day I'm restarting. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like if you get comfortable, you'll just stop, like, you'll stop your dreams. And like, I just want more every single day. And it's not more meaning luxuries. It's more that, like, I just want my brain to just develop more and more.
More knowledge and more growth as a person.
Knowledge is power at the end of the day. Yeah. Right. So whether it's, as you grow and as you get bigger in business, yes, you're going to make more money, of course. Right. Yeah. But they always say, hey, more money, more problems. But hey, I always said, I mean, without money, there's bigger problems. Right.
So yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. So I do it now, mainly I'd say for my time and my peace. Like, that's what I think I found that late last year. Like, last year was like a year of like shedding a lot of bullshit, a lot of negativity, a lot of negative energy, a lot of snakes, a lot of people that we outgrew. And we were talking about this earlier too, right? Where, you know, the closest people to you, you know, it's hard to trust anyone these days.
Yeah, it really is.
Right. I will never, ever change my heart. I'll never, ever change my morals and my respect. I will evolve that. I'll make it better and stronger, and I will love more, because I'm a lover, bro. I'm a Sagittarius. Like, I love my people. I love my clients. I love, like, anything I do, I have a passion for. If you notice anything that I do, I go all in or I don't do it at all.
Yeah. Even the way that you talk too, I think you can kind of get a good sense of how your character is, which was like the first thing that like captivated me too. Was, I kid you not, like, before we start recording, this guy, he already told me, like, he gets a lot of calls, but every call that you've had, you've always come with such respect. And such an energy that is so hard to replicate. And I think that you should also like take that in mind, where it's a big thing to have, because it's so hard to keep that energy, especially when you have a rough day and stuff. When you have those things going on with your life, like if you have like personal stuff or you're having a rough day, how do you still remain positive and find that enjoyment?
That's a really good question, bro. Because you know what? There's days where, I mean, I'll be straight up with you.
Yeah.
80% of the time, the world's falling apart.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as everyone sees the glitz and the glamour, no matter what, no one will ever truly understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur or a business owner or a father or a mother or like a brother or sister, unless you have those things to really learn what it takes to be able to do those roles, like be those roles, right? But I always said, no matter what, it doesn't matter what's going on in your world, you don't know what's going on in the other person's world.
Yeah.
Yes or no, right?
Sure. Yep.
So if you want great energy and you want peace, you want love, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. Don't go to someone else or don't take that on to someone else to add to that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you're having a bad day, don't give someone else a bad day.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, my days are crazy, but I'll still go through, like, for example, a Timmy's drive-thru, and I'm still buying the guy behind me their entire meal, even though I'm having the worst day of life. But I'm buying that guy because I'm like, hey, if I can make someone else smile, let them smile.
Yeah.
And you will see me probably 95% of the times, and people always call me Smiley. You're always smiling.
I think that's the one thing I noticed too, was just like how smiley you actually are.
Yeah. So they like, people call me Smiley, and like I get that from my mom. My mom's always smiling, but I seen the pain through my mom's eyes as I was growing up. Same thing. If you truly know how to read people and you can see people, you will see the pain through their eyes, not their fucking smile. Yeah. Straight the hell up. You know what I mean? So, but there is times, bro. I have clients that don't even know me, and they'll come to me, and it's happened like 1-2 times. They're like, I can see the pain in your eyes. Yeah. Straight up.
When something's on your mind and bothering you.
They can see it. They're like, you're smiling, but I can see the pain in your eyes. They're like, how are you giving me more energy than I even have right now? Yeah. Right? But again, like I said, I always stay positive as much as I can. Yeah. I will never put my pain onto somebody else. I have never done that. Yeah. And I believe that, you know, if you could make someone else smile, why not? You know what I mean? Like, you're giving them a better day.
And I think that's what people need to realize too, especially now, is that you don't need to be such a cold-hearted person when it comes to, if you're having such a bad day. Like, there's other ways to go at it. Like for me too, like when I've had like rough days and stuff, like my girlfriend, she would even tell me like, yo, like how are you still stay positive with all these things going on in your life? And I'm like, because I've come from nothing basically. Yeah. And learn the ways to always appreciate those experiences. Like for me, like I would move basement to basement. Me and my mom and my sister, we came from like a single household. Yeah. And, you know, just the little things like you said, like you guys just play with cockroaches and stuff, right? We used to play with like little Hot Wheels cars, Spider-Man toys in the basement. Maybe it would be freezing down there, but because you've had those experiences, my mom always tries to give us the best that she could, you know, and that's where we come from that. And seeing her be positive with all of her experiences made me be that person. So like, you know, when I go getting off the highway and stuff and you see like homeless people, I'm always giving money.
And I can see that, bro. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah. I can see the water in your eyes, bro. Cause you know, and it comes from like, bro, like I get it. Yeah. I get it. You know what I mean? And not a lot of people will get that. Yeah. And see, this is the thing, like and this is why I love podcasts. Like, you see how real this is? This is not scripted, guys. No. Like, this is literally raw.
I haven't even asked any questions about it.
I don't think you asked me any of the questions. Like, we're just talking raw, and like, look at the emotions are coming out, bro. Yeah, like, bro. I can see the emotions in you coming out right now, you know? And like, this is what it's all about, bro. Like, I want people to understand that what social media portrays, 90% of the time is not real. No. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what their stories are, right? Yeah. As much as we talk about and what we're telling our stories now, even people are going to take this and portray it in whatever they want, right? So just be a good person, man. Yeah. You know, just be honest, just be loving. Don't ever cheat anybody. I know to the core, like me and my wife, like who we are. Yeah. Like we've never hurt anybody. We're the kindest people. Yeah. We are givers. And one thing I've learned is that, it's the biggest quote I live by, is always give as much as you want to give. Okay. Like as you being me, like me, myself, for example, I'm going to give my shirt off my back if I have to. Yeah. Don't ever expect anyone else to give the exact same. And you don't have to expect them to be like you, but always do what makes you happy. And if you're going to give just out of your free will.
Out of your, not just because you want anything in return, but just because of who you are as a person.
And don't ever expect anything more.
Yeah.
And I quickly learned that when I became a father.
Yeah.
Right? When I became a father, I learned that no matter what, like nothing will give you that joy that your kids will put on your face. You know what I mean? And nothing else matters, bro. Straight up. Like you can give and think, hey, how come they're not doing this for me? Or like, what? It doesn't matter. Yeah. Just don't stop being who you are because of someone else.
No,
you know
exactly.
I mean? And like, becoming a father, bro, was like literally the best thing that ever happened to me.
That's what I was actually going to ask you too, was just like, you know, balancing family and then obviously becoming a father and stuff. How has that helped you grow as a man, as a person, as a husband too? And a father, yeah.
Honestly, that's a serious question, bro. And I think it humbled me.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect way to put it. It humbled me. It slowed me down in the best way possible, meaning that it's like, slow down and enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
You know, stop rushing. Stop just being go, and like just trying to get through this hustle and bustle every day. Because I look at it now, I'm like, bro, my eldest is turning 7 years old this year.
Holy crap.
You know, my second is turning 4. I feel like my second was just born.
Yeah.
You know, I have two baby boys, and it honestly, like it's like having 4 kids, to be honest, right? Like they're boys. They're gonna be rowdy. They're high energy, but it's just like, you look at it, it's just like how fast time goes.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I was in business for how long? Or yes, you know, like we look at it like, hey, we were just like on our bicycles with a pop can in the back, like riding around like little dirt bikes. And like all of a sudden we have our own kids that are trying to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's definitely humbled me a lot to the point where it's like nothing else really matters other than your peace, like I said, your time, which is what I'm trying to buy back now. So anything that I do now is just like, I just want to buy back my time as much as possible to have the time with my family, which is my wife and my 2 baby boys, my immediate family. So like my sisters, my mom, like my aunts and uncles. Yeah. I just want to be able to have that time because I feel like this past decade, not even decade, I could say this past 7 years. This way. Since COVID, I feel like time like doubled how fast it went. For sure. And everyone's getting older, everyone's getting sicker, and it's just like you can't buy that time back. Money can never buy your time back in that way, meaning like your experiences, your time with your family, right? So it's like anything you could do going forward is just to protect that and to really enjoy that, you know? Yeah. So, but like, as a person, I grew, I evolved, I matured a lot more.
Yes.
Bro, don't get me wrong, I'm a brown boy from the Rex.
Yeah, so, you know sometimes, You know
what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, yes, I'm a very presentable businessman at the end of the day, but I mean, don't get on my bad side.
Like, it gotta come out sometime, you know?
I grew up where I grew up, bro. I grew up with a red bandana on my wrist. I had bandana in my pocket, like that. My mom knows this. Yeah. Okay, so I used to iron my bandana. So don't get me wrong, you can never, like, just don't get on my bad side.
Yeah, just don't be disrespectful.
But at the end of the day, like I've evolved to the point where I realize that a lot of that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, bro, you want to have peace. Yeah. You want to be able to walk with your family. You don't want to be hurt. Like, look at all the shit that's happening, bro.
It's scary now.
Look at the people's houses getting shot up. Look at people that can't walk into the park with their kids because of their past or like what they're doing currently. Yeah. Why do you want that? No. You know what I mean? I'd rather have nothing than have that happen to my family. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like...
And as you get older too, like what people need to also realize is just like these things that you were once stressed about when you were younger, it does not matter as you get older.
Oh, 100%. Bro, as you get older, you get different problems, first of all, right? Yeah. But I feel like you got to mature at some point.
Yeah, like...
I mean, pull up your pants at some point. Put a belt on at some point, brother. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we ain't kids no more.
Exactly.
I grew up in a day where I used to wear size 5XL shirts with a Dickies pants. I was like a size 38 when I was like a maybe 28. You know what I mean?
I used to wear the Rockaware big ass long tee.
Yeah, your Nietzsche shirts, bro. You got like Fat Farm, bro. We grew up with that. Yeah. But it's a time to grow up. It's a time to get out of that.
We were younger when that time was happening, 100%. When it was acceptable. But yeah, you don't want to be...
But now it's just like, come on, like grow up. You know? It's just, again, we talked about this earlier. It's just the time that we live in. Yep. Humanity is not the same.
And you know what? Like, I still have hope that things will evolve because things obviously.
I do too because I got two little boys, so I'm praying for that.
Yeah. You know? So that was actually gonna be my next question. Was you know, being obviously a father and then managing 2 boys, what's things that you learned from your parents that you're carrying on to teach with them now, and then things that you probably don't want to teach them as well from your parents that you learned from?
So I mean, honestly, there's like, it's crazy because, you know, a lot of kids will say negative things about their parents.
Yeah.
I can truly say, bro, that like my parents, I don't know what it was. God bless me. I think one of my biggest blessings, like other than my wife and my kids, is my parents, bro.
Yeah.
They have been such powerful people in my life to this day. When it comes to my mom, when it comes to my dad.
Yeah.
Like when people see my mom, they don't even want to leave my mom's side. Put it that way. That's the respect that they have for her, because she's just like, just a loving person, just wants to give. She wants to feed everybody. Like she loves to cook, you know?
Yeah.
And my dad, same way, like he will literally like bend over backwards and do anything for you. Yeah. You could be in the butt fuck nowhere and you call him, he'll be there in a minute. You know what I mean? And he'll help you and he'll make sure that you're okay. Like I think when it comes to like teaching my kids, I'm going to teach them exactly what my parents taught me, bro.
Yeah.
No matter what, just don't ever disrespect anybody. Don't ever cheat anybody. Have morals, have respect. And I'm telling you, you'll go very far in life. Because if you don't have those simple things, you will fail in life very, very fast.
Yeah.
When it comes to your job, when it comes to your friends, when it comes to your family, right? So
it's so universal.
100%. My parents aren't perfect. Yeah. They've made mistakes. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. My kids are not perfect. They make mistakes. We're all human at the end of the day. But I mean, when it comes to that, like we're in a very different world where, you know, my parents, you know, had to like raise me versus where I have to raise my kids. And this is a huge topic right now, especially with parents, you know, in my age group, you know, your late 80s or your early 90s, where you're the millennials. Yeah. And they say that, you know, fathers are the most involved with their kids right now that they ever have in any generation. Wow. And I really believe that's so true. Yeah. Because if you look at anything, even online, because we see a lot of stuff on social media, right? Yeah. You always see dads with their kids. Yeah. And I fucking love that, bro.
Yeah, because before it was so hard to find that. Yeah. You would rarely find that.
It's not about that they didn't want to. Our parents had to provide for us, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're working factory jobs. They're working 2, 3 jobs, 4 jobs just to put food on our table. Yeah. Not to have luxuries. Exactly. Like our parents still don't have luxuries until now us providing that for them. Like I'm able to do that for my parents now, right? I give them a new car, buy them investment properties. Yeah. But because of the tools and the respect and like what they taught us, we're able to now give back in our way, right? But yeah, like it's very different how we were raised and how we're going to raise our kids, because now we have social media. We have so many things that are thrown at our kids that should not be talked about, which again, political stuff I will not get involved with. Don't worry, But it's a very different world. Yeah. So me as a father, I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my kids, to protect my boys. And if I have to take them out of certain places, I will. Yeah, right. You should. If I have to take them out of this country, I will. And I already have a plan, which, you know, that's between me and God and my family right now. And when it's set in stone, it's set in stone, and it'll be out there when it is. But I do know that no matter what, how my parents raised me is exactly how I'm raising my kids now. Yeah. And like, I will learn as I go. Yeah. Because I'm still a new father. I am still a new husband. So I'm learning as I go, but I'm learning in my own way. I'm not just learning off just what's going on the internet. Yeah, yeah. But again, hats off to all the fathers that are very involved in their kids' lives. I get it. They have their whole world that they're holding over their shoulders when it comes to a job, when it comes to a business, when it comes to being a father, a brother, a sister, a son. You know, there's a lot it takes to be a man. Yeah. Right. And there's a lot that takes to be a woman, 1000%. And you look at it generations to generations, no matter what, a mother will always be there for their kids. Yep. Always. But fathers weren't really there because they used to be the providers. Now we're in an era where mothers are providers as well. Yeah. And I feel like that gives fathers an opportunity to be able to be a part of it too, because now if a mom is working too, or has her own job, or being an entrepreneur, she has her own like grit, and she has her own money, and she's bringing to the table too, which is amazing. I love that.
Yeah,
like, I'm all for women empowerment, right? Yeah. And I feel like that gives a huge leap for fathers to be a part of their kids' lives now. Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, it does, because like you said, like before there was kind of like, I want to say like an unwritten rule, but it was kind of like strict, where like the male was kind of just the provider.
Work. Yeah. Mom was home.
Mom was one taking care of the kids and stuff. But now you're seeing an elevation with both.
Exactly. And again, I love that, if you can provide and be able to have your wife stay at home, maybe a stay-at-home mom, by all means, if she wants to do that, 1000%. But even with doing that now, I feel like even the stay-at-home moms are doing like cool little businesses. If you're selling cookies, or if you're doing t-shirts, or like you have like an online business, you're selling a product, like they're able to do that still, where you're still able to buy back your time, because now your significant other is providing as well, where now you're able to maybe not work as hard, and now you can be able to be like, hey, I'm going to be home today at 4 o'clock. I'm going to ride a bike with my kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
So that was one thing I was going to actually ask you too, was, was how you find time to balance for your family, with your work, time for yourself, time for your wife. Like, I think that was like a really good question to actually ask, because you obviously maneuver a lot that you have to carry on your back,
Yeah. I mean, bro, there's a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
I think I'm awake and I'm working at least 21 to 22 hours a day.
Jesus Christ.
Every day. I sleep maybe 3 hours a day. And in that 3 hours, I probably get maybe 15 to like 30 minutes of REM.
Your mind's still working.
Yeah. I barely get, I don't think I've had more than 30 to maybe 45 minutes of REM.
Yeah.
Like actual REM, deep REM sleep in probably over 10 years.
Holy crap.
And I'm so used to it now, but I'm just like, my energy is just, I'm just so high on life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
you don't want to take like a minute for granted.
I don't. And like, I always say, like, I see it like Touch Black. Yeah. I say I sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm here now. I'm going to do everything I can while I'm here, because I've seen people pass that are close to me that are not here anymore. And it's like, I'm going to do everything I can while I'm still here. And I want to be here for a very long time.
Yeah.
I want to be able to be here when my kids' kids have kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, God willing, again, health as well. That's another big thing that I'm doing now. Like, I take my health very serious. I watch what I eat. I haven't drank pop in probably over 13, 14 years.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't even know what that tastes like. I drink a gallon of water a day every single day. Like, I have my jug here.
Yep.
And you'll see me have my drinks like once in a while. Like, and it's usually just tequila and soda.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing. Like, I watch what I eat, because same thing, bro. Like, I look at it now as being a father. I'm like, I got to be there for my kids. I got to be able to run after them and be able to keep up and not like have to like run and like, oh my God, I'm running out of breath.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, like, obviously, like, having your kids and stuff does change your perspective on life.
Yeah.
And wanting to obviously like be there for them, see them grow. So tell me actually how, because I know we're gonna get back to that.
Yeah.
Which was the gas station story with your wife.
Yeah.
Right? So I figured this is probably like a good transition where you can tell me about how you met your wife and all that.
So I met my wife through a mutual friend. Yeah. So we lived in Rexdale initially, and then my parents, they bought their first home in Brampton. But I didn't want to go to school in Brampton because I grew up in Rex my whole life. So they would drive me to like that area. I
used to do something similar to that. In Brampton, actually,
right. So I would go to school. I was at Bowman Heights, and then I left there. I went to TCI, Thistletown Collegiate. Shout out.
Oh wow.
TCI. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go to school here. So I'll do whatever it takes to go here. And so I still had people in Brampton that were friends in the car community, even though I was growing up there. And my boy Charms, they had a crew called OTP, On Top Productions.
Yeah.
And they were well known in like Brampton for all the Honda scene and stuff, because I'm big in the Hondas. I'm still big in the Hondas to this day. You know me, I live and breathe that VTEC. It doesn't matter about the exotics. I'll tell you guys right now, I don't care about the exotics.
Tell them, bro.
I love the Hondas, okay? Like, there's nothing like a tech that cracks that can give me that excitement, okay? So I was at my boy's crib, and I was in a relationship at the time. My wife currently, she was in like the middle of a breakup as well. Like me and her, like we had the same situation. She was with someone for about 8-9 years. I was with someone for 4 years.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, like the girl I was with, she was an amazing girl. I wanted more than just having that, because I wanted the family aspect of it. I'm a very family oriented person. And if I wasn't going to be able to be comfortable in that home, because you didn't accept me, then I can't be a part of it, you know? So like, other than that, she was an amazing woman. Like she was Max, and I love her to death. Even to this day, she's an amazing girl, you know? But I saw this girl, and I was with my boy, Ryan. Yeah. We were just with him this weekend, and we talked about this conversation. We talked about this whole story on Easter weekend. Wow. It's so funny. So just a couple of days ago, we had this whole like thing about how we met. But this girl was there, and her name was Christina, as my wife. Yeah. And she was there with one of her girls, and I was watching her, whatever, and I was there with my ex, you know, the one which now is my ex. Yeah. And we got into a fight. I'm like, honestly, I think I'm just done. Like, I just need you to go home, you know? Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I don't want to fight here. I'm like, it's my boy's birthday. Just go home. She left, and then at the time we used to build a lot of Hondas. So me, Ryan, my boy Leon, on the weekends we were just building motors and like putting together Hondas and just tinkering with Hondas, you know? So he lived across the street from my boy Charms. And he was like, yo, I'm going to come by your crib tomorrow. We're going to drop this motor in your car. We had a B series that we're going to drop in. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to come over. Like, I got to go grab some clothes. So we're leaving. And then I was waiting in the car, and then he came back, and I'm like, yo, bro, I got to go back. I got to go back. I got to talk to that girl, you know? And Ryan's like, yo, are you crazy? Like, what's wrong? We had a motor to build. Yeah. Like, we have work because we work. So he used to work with me at the banquet hall at Verde Convention Center. Okay. So I used to work at a place called Dex Auto back then. Yeah. Like 60 hours a week. And then I would work at this banquet hall, Verde Convention Center, where I actually got married as well. Wow, so nice. Yeah. We worked there for like another 30, 40 hours on the weekend. Like from Thursday to Sunday, we would work there, right? So I'm like, yo, he's like, yo, we got to put this motor together, and then like, we're going to go to work. Like, we don't have time for this shit. He's like, I'm like, yo, bro, please just go back. Yeah. So go back. He's reversing on the driveway. Bro, he didn't even stop the car yet. This girl's walking on the driveway. I'm like, yo, pull the e-brake. I pull the e-brake myself, and I got out of the car, and I had 2 business cards back then. I had one with my personal number, one with my business number, you know? And I come out the car, I'm like, hey, I'm like, yo, like, I actually was coming back to like, yo, say what up to you, you know? Like, but I'm like, hey, like, I have a business. Here's my card. If you ever need anything done to your car, like, hit me up. And this girl was not paying no mind to me, you know? Yeah. And she's like, oh, like, I'm good. Like, I'm okay. And like, her girl, Tanita, was with her at the time. And she's like, oh, I know who you are. Like, you have this shop, Art In Motion. You just started recently. It was only 6 months old at the time. Holy crap. Yeah, it was 6 months old. Exactly 6 months old. And she's like, oh, like, I'm your groupie. Like, I follow you on Instagram, this and that, you know? And like, that's when Instagram just started. Yeah, yeah. Like 2012, 2013-ish. Yep. Yeah. Wow. So I gave her the card, and I just chatting her up. And I'm like, yeah, like, if you ever need anything, just call me, you know? She's like, I don't think I'm gonna need to call you. Like, she's just blunt. You know? Yeah. And don't get me wrong. She was with her ex, and she was breaking up with him at the time too. Yeah. Tell me, the next day she calls me, bro. No way. Her brother had an EM2, and we found out what it was. It was the radiator that blew. Yeah. But the rad blew, and the coolant went everywhere. She called me. She's like, hey, it's the girl from last night. Like, I don't know what this is, but I'm calling you right now. But she's like, I need help. Like, I don't know who else to call. My brother's car broke down, like, right by Humber College. Like, can you see if you can help him out? And I went, and like, it was a quick thing. I met her there, and ended up calling my tow boys. I'm like, yo, let's tow this car, because you can't drive it. Yeah, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I know, like, yo, the rad's like $60. You can get like a cheap Chinese, like, aftermarket rad and some coolant, and that's it. You know, it's like probably like $80, $100 tops. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to take care of this. No problem, you know? And towed the car, went to the shop. Not even an hour, I got the job done. Quick, in and out, bled the coolant. Called her up. I'm like, hey, the car is done. She's like, oh, how much is it going to cost? And I'm like, you know what? Like, don't even worry about it. Right? Because I'm just always so used to just taking care of the women. Yeah, yeah. That's one thing you know about me. If you know my past, like, I take care of my women to this day. Yeah, you feel bad to like ask them to like. Yeah. Bro, it's Valentine's Day, bro. Every woman in my life gets roses. Yeah. Not just my wife. Yeah. Even to my wife's grandma even gets roses. Yeah. She's 95. Right? And my florist, shout out to my florist, Lily's florist. She's my florist since 2006 to this day. And it's my barber's mom. Oh shit. Yeah, but I'm getting off topic anyways. So she calls me, she's like, oh, what's the bill? I'm like, there's no bill. She's like, there's no way I'm not paying for this. She comes, and like, back then I used to drink a lot of Black Label, and she saw me drinking. I guess she saw me drinking Black Label at that house. She comes with a big Black Label bottle and like envelope, she puts on my desk. I'm like, yo, you didn't have to do this, you know? Yeah. I'm like, hey, can I please take you out? Right? And I had, like, within that, like, 3 days, me and my ex, like, we broke up at that time too. And I'm like, yo, can I please take you out? Like, we'll just go over dinner, you know? And she said no. And like, I was just persistent.
Yep.
And I was already like, yo, like, who is this girl? She's paying, you know? And she's bringing me a bottle. Like women didn't really do that back then. Women probably don't even do that now.
No.
You know, like, so you're lucky if you do, right?
Yeah.
And I was texting her and I'm like, you know what? Like I got this spot, like real shit. Like we're gonna go and just shoot the shit, like just friends.
Yeah.
It's not a date. Like we're just gonna go.
Pure hangout.
So we went to this place called Finn McCool's.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 27 and 7.
Yeah.
But we were there for 8 hours. And in that 8 hours, we learned so much about each other. We were born 2 days apart. I'm December 4th. She's December 6th.
Wow.
Born 1990. Born in the same Humber River Hospital in Jane and Finch. Okay, our pictures are still, it's in that one hallway. You'll see all the 80s and 90s and 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
The baby pictures are still in that hallway.
No way.
Our pictures in that same frame, bro. Okay. And found out that we lived on the same street in Pearldale, like in Islington and Finch area.
Yep.
Lived on the same street. Her grandma still lives there to this day. And then we had mutual friends. Like even though she was born and raised in the Rex, she moved to Brampton. I moved to Brampton. There was a school right next to my building on Pearldale. It's called Humber Summit. And it's a grade 6 to grade 8 school. So it's only middle school. I think she went to, I forget where she went. I think it was Elm Bank or whatever before that.
Yeah.
But she went to that school. But my school that I went to was kindergarten to grade 8. So I didn't end up going to school, that middle school, even though it was right next door.
Yeah.
But she even went to that school next to my building. So she must have saw me play soccer there, ride my bike, all this shit, you know? And so we found out all this crazy, like, mutual stuff. Like what's going on here, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, sure enough, like, I went home that night and I told my sister, I walked into my sister's room. I'm like, yo, this is the girl I'm going to marry.
Wow.
I literally said that plain. Like, my sister's like, where were you, you know? And I'm like, yo, I was out with a girl. I'm like, this is the girl I'm going to marry. Like, right off the bat. And I swear to God, I fell in love with her that night, you know?
Yeah.
And about like a month later, you know, like relationship started. Yeah. She broke up with her ex and I was fully broken up with my ex too. Yeah. Then we started to date and I finally went to go meet her mom and her grandma.
Yeah.
Because her grandma's a really big part of her life. Like to this day, like my wife takes care of her and the entire family. My mom, my wife's like the godmother, the entire like group. Okay? Yeah. So I go and I'm sitting there and my wife's Guyanese, I'm Sri Lankan, right?
Yeah.
So I'm there and they're bringing like bara and this and that. And then her grandma's just staring at me. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, why is it like, is something wrong with me? Like, why is she staring at me like this, you know? And then she's like, gas station by.
No way.
And I'm like, wait, what? Like my stomach just like shriveled up. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What do you mean gas station by? And then she goes to Mata. Mata's my mother-in-law. She's like, Mata's like, this is the boy that used to pump our gas.
Wow.
And I'm like, wait, what? And then like at Beaver gas station, she's like, yeah, she's like, you used to pump my gas. And they used to give me like a $2, $5 tip.
Wow.
And her grandma's like, and she's 95 now, like God bless her. And she remembered that, bro. And I was like, that's amazing. This is crazy, bro. And like just right from then, I'm like, yo, this is fate. Like there can't be this many things, you know?
To line up the way it did. Yeah, that's incredible.
And I proposed like later that year, bro. And it's all.
Oh, that's amazing, bro. That's so amazing. So how old were you guys when you guys met then?
We were 21.
21, wow.
Yeah, 21 turning 22.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna be 10 years married next year.
Holy crap.
A decade in already.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah, and together 13 years together.
Wow. Yeah. It's just it's amazing how things just align and work out.
I strongly believe in God and I believe like God works in mysterious ways and one of my biggest blessings was her, you know? Like I wouldn't have anything I have without my mom, without my dad, and without my wife. It's just swear to God. Like, of course, my friends are there to support.
Of course, yeah.
But my biggest backbone, like my everyday backbone is my wife, you know? Yeah. We've gone through our hurdles. Nothing's perfect.
Of course, yeah.
You know, rose petals fall off.
Yeah.
You know, but it's up to you to just keep watering the plant to make it grow, right? Yeah. Make it flourish again. So nothing is all, again, glitz and glamour. Nothing's all perfect as you see.
On social media.
Yeah, social media. Oh my God, they're the perfect couple, the perfect husband and wife, the perfect mom, the perfect dad. No, nothing is perfect.
I know you don't have to always be flexing your relationship on social media, man. Sometimes
and you see, bro, I'm the most realist that there's probably in a lot of people that are out there, bro. And like, I think that's where people really reside and like they're able to like connect easier because they can see that I'm real in real life. Yeah. I'm real on the camera. It doesn't matter. There's no difference. Like I'm raw. You'll see me pissed drunk, singing my heart out that I don't even know the words of the lyrics. You see it, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't care to hide that, but that's me.
But that's who you are,
raw.
exactly. Yeah.
I'm being raw. You can look at me, I can be the most professional, I can be the biggest gangster you want at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna change the way I am for anybody else.
Yeah.
So what you see on my gram is like literally just me.
If the cameras are turned off.
If you turn that camera off, bro, it's the exact same. You get
and that's
pure raw
one thing
form.
too that I've always like tried to maintain, especially once I started creating the show, was to keep the same side that people see behind closed doors, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like how my personality is, like the silly side of me, but also just the comedic side, but the serious side that can also, that people are able to talk to. Because the one thing that I've always been really good with is communication with people and having those contacts, like where they feel like they can come to me to talk to, even for advice. Like someone I just met maybe like a couple of weeks ago and stuff, because I bring that presence where they feel like they can have those kind of conversations with, is what I try to continue to do, because like it's the same thing with just being a good person, right?
Yep.
And you don't know how much that actually affects someone's day by just giving them that opportunity to
1,000%.
You know,
1,000%.
Actually, okay, let me see. There's a questions I was gonna ask. You know, I appreciate that we had these kind of conversations, man. Like you took this time to do this. So the question I actually want to ask you was Art In Motion, right? So why was that the title that you decided to build your brand off of?
So that's a funny story. This goes back 2009.
Yeah,
I was at my boy's house, Leon, and we used to just build Hondas, you know.
Yeah.
And we were just there, just sitting and drinking and like thinking about a name, and in my head I'm just like, I know I love art.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm like, we're building pieces of art, and these cars are always in motion.
So yeah.
So I'm like, yo, it's Art In Motion.
Yeah.
You know, and our slogan was, so it's AIM, Art In Motion's AIM.
Yeah.
So it was Art In Motion, aim to the top. Because anything that we did was always aiming to the top, no matter what, and nothing less.
Yeah.
And looking back, doesn't matter if you fail, doesn't matter if you've fallen off the cliff. I mean, if you've saved yourself, you can keep going back up. You know what I mean? So it was always aim to the top. And yeah, bro, like to this day, like everything I do, like you can see, it's very artsy. I love like, you know, I even took my kids to an art show the other day, like an art museum, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just love anything to do with art.
Yeah.
You know, so,
even your like shop design and stuff, like you can tell it's very artistic and like of the concept and stuff. Was that something that you had when you were even younger too?
Yeah. 100%. Anything I did, like it was always just like I wanted like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like no matter if there was like if it was 10 different things, I wanted the best. No matter what. And I always wanted something that stood out, and it would always be something that's way more artistic than just like a basic thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I always said like anything that I do, it's going to be the best of the best, no matter what. And it would always have some sort of like art like thing where you got to like really look at it and like appreciate it to understand what it is. So if you come to my shop, I have a lot of murals.
Yeah.
And like some like, you know, like this is like it's a good gesture to see other people trying to mimic like my murals that I've done, and like businesses, even the local community. But like when you come and actually stand, like when you come by, I'm going to show you. We were saying, so we started
about the shop. Yeah.
So we were in that small shop, and you know, cars would drive by and like almost like rub up on you and hit you, you know. But before even I get to that part, it all started from my mom's driveway. Yeah. You know, so it started from detailing cars on the driveway for like $50-$60, spending 6-7 hours doing that on my mom's driveway to like, you know, my dad's friends or people at her work. That's how the word kind of got out. And then, you know, I'd walk around the neighborhood, knock on doors, say, hey, listen, I detail cars. Do you want me to detail your car? And it all started with doing it the old school way, which I'm going to explain how we were doing it at the first shop. And I used to do engine swaps and stuff too, right? Yeah. At my mom's house. So the first shop, it was so small, we were working on cars even outside. Again, I'm used to working on cars in the cold and working in the cold. And that's why like I have carpal tunnel now, like all my joints hurt now. You know, I'm 35, but everything hurts, you know? So my wife and I used to detail cars at the first shop with literally a bucket with some, you know, carpet solution and a 25 to 50 cent dollar store brush. Yeah. Okay. And we'd have an extracting machine that we would buy from Home Depot or Canadian Tire, wherever had a sale at the time. That would be the cheapest one. That would be like maybe 30, 40, 50 bucks. That would last us 6 months or so. Because they would go to shit after, right? But we couldn't afford the extracting machine that would cost like $5,000, $10,000 that would, hot shampoo a vehicle.
Yeah.
So we were working for like small little dealerships in Brampton. Like the first one used to be, I think, CA Auto Sales. They're still around. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
He was one of the first guys that gave us opportunity to like have a first like dealership contract. He's at like Steeles and like Kennedy, McLaughlin area. He's still there. It's like a little like place on the left side there when you're driving by. And we would detail these cars, same thing. Like we would detail full details, meaning you would like, a lot of guys even now spend like maybe 2 hours on a detail job.
Yeah.
But we were just so meticulous and our attention to detail was so precise that I didn't care that I was making only $60.
Yeah.
For a full detail that we spent maybe 6 hours on, me and my wife. So call it like $30 split between 6 hours. What is that? I don't even know how much that is per hour. It's like nothing. It's like less than minimum wage after your fact of the electricity, your chemicals, your time, right? But we would detail these cars and we were detailing them even in that little alleyway where cars are almost literally running over our foot, and my wife too.
Yeah.
And we call these things knuckle busters, okay?
Yeah.
They're all on my knuckles.
Yeah.
See, every knuckle has like these cuts.
Yeah.
Every single one of them have been split open. My wife has the same scars.
Holy crap.
Okay, so every single one of them, all these scars.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see on the camera.
Yeah.
But we call these knuckle busters because we didn't have money to buy the extractor. So we had these little 50-cent brushes, a bucket, and our small $30 shop vac that we would scrub these carpets, and the seat has a rail, right?
Yeah.
So the metal rail, a lot of even the older cars, even back then, a lot of new cars are like covered a lot nowadays, But the older cars back then, the rail was exposed. Whether you're, when you move your seat back and forth, so that rail's bolted to the floor. So when you're scrubbing these carpets, what happens? Your knuckle hits the rail.
Oh my God.
So my wife has these too.
Yeah.
Right? So this is where we started from, guys.
See, it wasn't easy, man.
Don't worry about the diamonds. Worry about the stars, okay? This is where it all started.
Yeah.
It started from that little shop in Brampton. Not even that. It started from my mom's driveway to that shop in Brampton to our second shop where we did in Rexdale. I had to bring it back to the roots, which was on Steinway.
Shout out Steinway, yeah. I remember.
Yeah, we were there for a bit. All the money that I saved up, I knew that I want to elevate the business. And again, I always say this, and I will forever say this. In any business, anything you do, you have to fucking spend money to make money. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you have to say. You have to spend the money and you have to reinvest into your business to grow your business, no matter what. So don't put money in your pocket until your business starts to really flourish to the point where even if you can walk away or get sick for 6 months or a year, then your business can run on its own.
Yeah.
Okay. Until you get to that point, don't buy nothing nice.
Yeah.
Like sacrifice everything. Eat that sardine and bread. Eat that maidens and bread. Okay. Don't go to steakhouses every day and live this lavish life because like that you can turn your business off.
Yeah.
Right. So that second place, it was an old building that got revamped.
Yeah.
And they severed it into units. It was one big electrical building or something before.
Yeah.
And they severed it into units, which, the landlord, that was a Lehman's construction group, they bought that building and they made really good money. They severed it into units and they sold the units. So I used to drive right by S'il vous plaît all the time and go to, buy shoes. And I would always drive through those areas to look for a shop because I knew I wanted to go back to Rex, but I didn't want to go to Toy York. Like the Jane area or Weston, right? I was like, more close to Rex, like Kipling and Steeles area, close to Vaughan. You're centered,
but you're
by
still
the
close to Brampton in a sense too. Yeah.
So you're literally Highway 50 is 1 minute away.
Yep.
30 seconds you make the right, you're into Vaughan. Like you make the right onto Steeles, left onto 27, you're in Vaughan, and you go right onto Martin Grove, and you're in Rex.
Yeah.
You're back in like Jamestown area. Like you're literally in the center of everything. Malton is like 5 minutes from there. So that area was like always somewhere I really, really wanted to shop.
Yeah.
So I would always drive through those little streets to see if there's any for lease sign. And then the one time that I went, it was like maybe a couple months, like since I went the last time, it was like maybe 6-7 months. And I saw this building, I'm like, this building's still been here, but why does it look so new? And so basically they took over the building, they revamped it, put units in, they put mezzanines in, and they refaced the entire building where it looked like a brand new building.
Wow.
Fresh parking lot, like fresh asphalt. The sign was up and it said for sale. And at the time, I'm like, I can't buy nothing. Like, you know what I mean? This was 2016. So how old was I? I was 25, 26 years old.
Shit.
Right? Only 3 years into my business, 4 years into my business. And I'm like, I can't buy nothing. So I would go in. And the funny thing is, the unit that I had, that door and like another door was always left open. Like the lock wasn't locked. It's an empty unit, right? There's nothing in it. There's not even drywall in there, right?
Yeah.
There's no electrical. Like there's like one plug. So they just left it open, whatever. So I would go in and I would sit there and I'd manifest. Like I can call my wife right now and have this conversation. I have pictures of months before I even got the unit of me just sitting in there. And my boy Mike, even like back then, I even showed him. I'm like, yo, bro, I want this unit, you know?
Yeah.
And I would just sit there. I'm like looking at it. I'm looking at the designs. I started even drawing out how I would like design this shop and like how it would be. And I kept calling the agent, and he never answered. He's a busy guy. I love the guy. I still talk to him today, but he's a busy guy, you know. And I begged him one time when he finally answered. I'm like, yo, like I can't buy this. I want to lease this, but I'll do a lease to own. Like, give me like a couple of years. Let me build my brand. Let me build my business, and I'll buy it. And he kept saying, no, the landlord doesn't want to do that. They only want to sell. And the market was kind of tricky in 2016, right? Like it was just starting to pop like a little bit. So after, you know, showing who I was, what I've done with the business, giving, you know, my personal guarantee, they leaned into leasing the unit to me. So I leased it. But in the lease, I said, within 2 years, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
So 2 years passed. Before the 2 years, I also showed what I'm investing into it. Yeah. How much I'm going to be spending to make this unit look really nice, because it was a brand new, like freshly renovated unit where it was literally raw. It was concrete. There was walls, no drywall, and they had like enough electrical to start doing there wasn't even plumbing, no drainage, no washrooms, nothing. So I had a whole plan. And then I created a whole business plan. I went to the bank. That was the first time I ever took a business loan, because the first time I did the shop, it was just all off my own money. Yeah. And I learned that you always use the bank's money to grow. Yeah. So the second time I invested, you know, whatever I had to get enough to do what I wanted to do to this unit, you know? So I showed the plan, and then that's where they leaned into it more, and they gave me the unit. And slowly, you know, through the renovations, they saw they were wowed, and they loved what I did. And then in turn, it like brought more business to that building, and more units started to sell. Yeah. Right.
Is the attention that it probably brought to?
Yeah. So when I built that shop, I'm sure you've seen that shop before too. It was a beautiful shop. Yeah. And when I did it, again, there was barely anyone doing what I was doing. Okay? Yeah. There was detailers, but not doing what I did to the extent that I was doing literally everything. Right. Yeah. And I put a lot of it on the map where, you know, I spent the money to build such a place where when someone comes in, they're comfortable. They feel like their car is safe. They can bring a Lamborghini there and leave it.
And not have to worry about it,
Not worry about it, right? So it's clean. Like you can put your sandwich on the floor and like eat it. Like so you know that if you could do that, your work is going to be clean too, that I'm putting out to your car, right? So there's levels to this shit, bro. You know what I mean? So you got to spend the money, even though I didn't have it. I spent the money to do it. And I was doing Uber at the time too. Yeah. So my wife used to be in the restaurant industry for a very long time, majority of her whole childhood, and like up to her early adult stages, she was in the restaurant scene. So she would work late hours, and like she was managing at a restaurant, like at she was at Moxie's and then Turtle Jack's. Yeah. So she'd be there till like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'd finish at the shop, say it's 9, 10 o'clock. You know, late days. Some days you're there later, but late nights I'm just like, yo, I can't go home and just sit on my ass. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, what can I do? Like Uber just came out. Yeah. And I had bought my sister a brand new Honda Civic. That was the first ever brand new car anyone ever gotten in my family, by the way. Not even like, it's just like, to be able to do that, that was already huge, you know? So I was like, yo, I could do Uber. So I told my sister, I'm like, yo, like, yeah, it's your car. I'm like, but like, can I use this to do Uber? Because going downtown, you had to have a certain, it can't be certain years old to do certain areas. But it was brand new. It was like a year old, right? Yeah. So I told myself, I'm like, yo, I want a supercar, and I also want to buy the shop. One, I knew I had to buy the shop because that was a part of the agreement. Yeah. But I also wanted a supercar, not because it's just a supercar. Most people want a supercar. It's like, holy shit, I attained a Lambo, or I attained a McLaren. For me, I just did it for the business. Yeah. Like to this day, if you see, I always say it, I love my Hondas to the death of me. Yeah. And my most favorite car that I own, like still currently own, is my Corvette. Yeah. I don't give a shit about anything else. But I had cars that are close to $1 million. Yeah. And like, it didn't do anything for me, you know? Yeah, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being fucking like, you know, like I'm not going to be cocky like, yeah, bro, like I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, sure.
But it didn't do what maybe it does for other people, if that makes sense.
You have a difference in value, I guess you could say, for certain things, for different cars.
Yeah, so like my thing was, if I could do Uber, you know, I'll save up enough to put down payment on like one of these cars. But I could do Uber and that extra cash flow would pay for my monthly payment for this car.
Yeah.
So because we were working with a lot of dealers back then, and my boy Mark at McLaren, at Pfaff McLaren, I would always hit him up because I always knew I wanted a McLaren. I wanted something different because again, McLaren was very new.
Yeah.
When people saw it, they're like, "Yo, what is this? What is this car? It looks like an alien ship, or like it doesn't even look like you're used to a Ferrari or a Lambo or like a Maserati, you know, like something nice."
So it's different.
It was always different. People would even when I owned them, anyone that would come, like they're like, "What is this? Like why does it look like this?" You know?
Yeah.
So I would always hit up my boy Mark. I'm like, "Yo, like I want to buy something one day, but like, yo, what do you got now? Like, what do you have in inventory? You know?" And it was coming up to the 2-year mark almost for the shop. And I'm like, yo, I have to buy the shop, but I want this car. What do I got to do? So I'm hustling. And I'm doing Uber while I'd had this business, bro.
Holy
and I kid you not, I'll pull this up even right now. I'll pull up my phone.
Yeah.
Because, bro, like some people don't even believe that I did Uber, but obviously people that were following me back then, they know. Because they used to see me do Uber and I'm on Instagram, like, you know? But I saved this because this was one of my Uber riders.
Yeah.
And she had messaged me years later. And she was like, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, I can't believe like your success was to this level, because she's like, the things that you said that you would do in that car ride.
Yeah.
Like this girl came in the car with like 4 of her drunk friends.
Yeah.
And it was only supposed to be 3 people in the back and 1 person in the front. So it's already illegal. But I had 5 people in the car. You know what I mean? And they heard my story, and like I was talking about my wife and this and that. And she says this in here. I gotta find this thing. But
oh, she left like a review?
No, she texted me, bro, and I saved it in like in a folder here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Uber. Where is this? Album collections. There we go. Here. So she messages me. Okay. This like you can read it if you want.
So crazy. I remember meeting you like 6 years ago. You were Uber driver at the time. I got into the Uber with a friend of mine. We were just being our regular chatty selves, and you were so friendly and humble. You were telling us about your background, your wife, car business, and you were building. I just had to send you a message to tell you how happy it is to watch your success. You're the beginning of hard work, paying off, sending you endless blessings. Wow.
Bro.
That's amazing.
See, bro, like this, like she was just like literally one of my Uber riders. Daniela, that was her name.
Wow.
And she was one of my Uber drivers. And like I said that, hey, listen, I'm gonna buy a supercar. Uber. I want to be one of the first guys that did Uber to buy a supercar. You know? And bro, I fucking did it.
Amazing,
You know what I mean? So I hustled, and like obviously like with the business, I like just my entire life I've dedicated to it. And the 2-year mark was coming. I had an opportunity to buy this red one.
Yep.
570S, which I had brought to Import Fest back in like 2018. People probably remember that car. And again, I always believe that God has his own timing for us. And if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. So that one wasn't meant to be, because I was about to buy that first before buying the shop.
Yeah.
And that would have been a big mistake, because I promised myself I was going to buy the shop first and invest into the business, even though the car was going to be an investment for the business.
Yeah.
But this was a bigger thing, because if I didn't buy it, they would be like, yo, get out.
Yeah.
They'll sell it to somebody else. Or even if they sold to someone else and they didn't want a tenant, then what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just going by your word at that time too, right? Like
exactly.
So.
Right. Well, I put it in the paperwork saying that I was going to buy it in the 2 years.
Yeah.
But they started to call me that summer.
But that's
like, hey, like the 2-year mark's coming up, November. Like, you ready? You know?
Yeah.
And anyways, I knew something was like, you know what? It's not right now, so I can't do it. And I told Mark, I'm like, hey, it's not the time. And like, he's like, yo, don't worry. Like, when the time's right, you're gonna get your car, bro. You know, and I was a young kid, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, you're
like,
just like, bro, I need it now. Like,
I just wanted it, you know? And then anyways, like a couple months pass, and I had to do everything I could to buy this unit, which I scrapped up everything and I bought this place. And I said, listen, like I'm like in the next couple months, I'm like, I want to be able to buy this place and buy that friggin' McLaren.
Yep.
I'm like, within like the first month, I bought the place, and a week later I bought my first supercar, bro.
Wow.
I bought the 570S, and this was the white one that I bought. It was the Novatech package one. It was the one of one Novatech in all of Canada. Which was Chris Pfaff, the owner of Pfaff itself, the brand.
Wow.
That was his car that he didn't take possession of, but he bought that car for himself and did the Novatech thing to go showcase at all the car shows and like the auto show and stuff, showcasing the Novatech and like the Pfaff tuning side of their business.
Yeah.
Right. So that was his car that technically wasn't registered, and it was brand new, had no kilometers on it. But I was the first person able to take that car.
Holy crap.
Yeah, bro.
It's amazing, bro. That's amazing. That's a crazy story to you.
Crazy, bro. Like, and it went from that shop to, you know, me telling me, like, again, I always have a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
Like, that's always been my thing. I would write out my 10-year plan. And I said that for my 10-year anniversary for the business, that I have to own a freestanding building. And I want to deck it out to the point where, like, it literally feels like you're walking into a Lamborghini dealership.
Yeah.
So in 2013, July, I started my business. And then in 2023, for my 10-year, on July 13th, I did my 10-year anniversary, opened up my first freestanding building, and that's the one that I have now.
That's freaking amazing, bro.
Yeah, bro. That was my goal. So on the day I celebrated, on that day of my 10-year anniversary, and if you've probably seen the event, bro, I spent like 70 grand on that event alone.
Holy crap.
Just hosting my immediate like family and friends and like my best clients. They were all there. And I celebrated them. Like, this was not just for me; it was a celebration for all of us.
Just to give back in a sense.
Yeah, because without them, like, none of this would have been possible. And like, I was able to be like, "Yo, listen, like, open your mouth. I'm feeding you a 24-karat tomahawk steak."
Yeah, jeez,
you know what I mean?
Like,
and Chef De La Mesa was cutting it, bro, and it's covered in 24-karat gold foil, bro. And I'm feeding that to my clients.
Yeah.
You know how many people can do that, bro? So like, that's why, like, I will always give back to my people no matter what, you know?
And that's the one thing that I always was so fascinated with you, but your shop as well, is the way that you cater to your clients, but you also still have your business relationship with a personal relationship. Like, you have that in between, which is perfect, because like, you don't have to be doing all this, but I think it's just like where you come from, your background, the people that you surround yourself with, obviously your upbringing. It's so nice to see that there is people like that care so much about, you know, just being a good person, but also the people around them.
Yeah.
And having that energy, because believe it or not, people don't realize that whatever you put out there is obviously what you get back, but it also helps the next person there too.
Yeah.
And it's really great to see, man.
100%, bro. And like, I even say this, you know, I remember that we were talking about the time of like how much time you have in a day.
Yep.
Majority of my day obviously consists of doing the daily to day thing.
Yeah.
While you're outside during the day.
Yeah.
But at nighttime, you know, when everyone's going to sleep, I'm still awake.
Yeah.
And I'm working, meaning I'm working like getting back to direct messages and text messages or emails. People inquire, bro, you like, don't get me wrong. People even email me like life stories and like asking for advice. Email.
Wow.
Not even through just DMs, you know? And I kid you not, minimum 4 to 5 hours every single day to respond back to these messages. I get like a couple hundred to 1,000 messages a day on just like social media platforms. And I take the time and I respond back to them, whether it's something to do with their family life, whether it's them being like, yo, how do you do this as a father? Which I don't even have answers myself sometimes, but I will go and look for it, or I'll try to give you the best answer I have, and like to my ability of what I've done for myself, right?
Yeah.
But it's nothing to even do with cars. But like, people always like, yo, why don't you hire like a VA? Why don't you hire an assistant to just like answer your questions, or like automate it with AI now? I'm like, I can't.
It's too,
They're like, why? Like, you got to like elevate and like go to that. I'm like, I can't, because I'm actually like personable with my clients.
Yeah. Like, you care about that. Yeah.
Bro, you know, to this day, I don't have a website.
Yeah. I was actually wondering.
I don't have a website to this day, bro. It's literally off just Instagram. Yeah. TikTok I used for like maybe a couple months and I was like nothing.
Yeah.
But it's literally off of Instagram and personal relationships with my clients.
Yeah.
Meaning you can call me. There's days where clients come into the shop, they're like, holy shit, you're here?
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. I'm like, bro, first of all, I'm just a regular guy. You can message me or call me anytime. If I don't answer, I'm going to eventually call you back. Like, look how many times you call, but I'm going to call you back.
That's the thing. Like, I was like, I know you were busy and stuff, but like, you obviously, every time you still got back to me, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, like, I knew that you were busy and stuff, right? So even when I contacted you the first time, I'm like, yo, this is probably like a Hail Mary, but like, I was like, let me just try, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, once you told me that, like, how many messages you got, I'm like, no wonder. You're like, bro, I got lost in the sauce. Bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro, I was away in Dubai for a bit too. So for me, it was like, I was already bombarded with messages. I was literally just trying to like enjoy my time there.
Of course.
We're setting up something there too. So I was very like occupied on that side. So I was like, I'm really going to give myself a break and just like leave this. So I'm like double overloaded, like a month behind.
You need to give yourself that too, for your own mental sake too, though.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's just like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I'm actually just, I can't give that up. I love my clients. They're all my family. Like, I treat everybody like family, and like, no matter what, you're going to get my utmost respect and like my time as much as I can give. You know?
And that's the thing. Like, I want to give you your flowers for everything that you've been doing. And I even like reaching out like to you, and just how cool you were to me, and obviously when we first met and stuff, like I'm so grateful to actually have this opportunity to talk to you and
thank you, bro.
Hear your story. And obviously just the opportunity that you gave, I'm really appreciative for it. And like, you know, I consider you like a friend now, and I'm very excited
thank you, bro.
to see what else happens in the future with you. And, you know, I definitely gotta have you back on the show.
Oh, 100%.
Sure. So 100%. I'm gonna ask you like 2 more questions and last question, sorry, and then we'll get out of here. What is your goal for the next 5 years with Art In Motion?
So next 5 years, I mean, I want to keep it a little discreet.
Yep.
Because again, I believe in energy. I believe in evil eye, bro. I have an evil eye right here, bro.
Yeah, you have to protect yourself, man. It's
you know what I mean?
crazy
so,
yeah.
We're definitely gonna go international.
Yep.
It's in the waters, you know. We're sailing right now with a little paddle boat.
Okay.
You know, eventually we're gonna get to the yacht stage.
Yeah.
But I want to see Art In Motion go global. I want it to be on a scale where it's like a brand that's really recognized by like very powerful people.
Yep.
Because I feel like it can go there with the right network and the right choices that are going to be made in the next couple of years.
Yeah, for sure.
With this recession that's happening, and you know, with really integrating, you know, AI and all this new stuff, this technology that we need to really
that you have to learn about too. Yeah.
We really got to learn this, because now is the time to adapt. And like, if you don't, you're going to get left behind. Yeah. And I'm sorry, like, you're not going to make it, you know? Like I said, right now we're just sailing, you know? We want to get to the yachts, obviously. But yeah, the 5-year, like, real goal is international. I want, obviously, my kids to be involved in the business as much as they want to be.
Yeah.
You know, I'll never force my kids to do something that they don't want. But both my kids are serious car lovers.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're beyond, like, I think they're more in love with cars than I am. You know what I mean? So I feel like they would want to, you know, build and elevate and grow with the business. So that'll be a huge part of this 5-year success, because, you know, my eldest is almost 7. And in 5 years, he'll be 13. Like, he'll be 12 years old, 12, 13 years old.
Same means that you also started working.
Right? So, like, if he's going to be, you know, in it, and, you know, he'll bring his knowledge, and, you know, bro, kids are learning so much now that even I don't even know, right? Yeah. So it's like they'll probably bring stuff that's going to elevate the brand no matter what. So I don't even know what this next 5 years would be. Yeah. But, you know, we want to build companies out of Art In Motion, which has always been a dream. Where, example, like my sister, she's in ECE, and she wanted to open up a daycare. And one of the things, it's going to be freaking trademarked, but maybe we'll bleep it out, okay? Yeah. But we want to branch off where it's built off of the main company, but still the same branding, same kind of name in a way, built like through that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, with whatever opportunities come its way, it comes its way. We've done this much in, you know, 13 years. So in the next 5 years, I mean, whatever God blesses us with, we'll be happy to take it, bro.
That's amazing, bro. Okay, and the last question I'm going to ask you, because obviously, like, you know, your YouTube channel is almost at 2.5 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. And you've obviously worked with OVO guys like TV Gucci, OVO Nico, some of the Raptors players, Garrett Temple and such. Who are some dream collabs that you want to work on in the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. Future collabs. Honestly, again, like, I'm very humbled to be able to even work on, you know, cars that I work on and people that I'm working with now. With whatever God wants to give me, I mean, He'll give me. A dream client that I would love to obviously work with is eventually I want to work with Drake.
Of course, yeah.
He doesn't know it. I mean, one day if he sees this clip, I worked on his car in I believe it was 2014 or 2015 when the Work video came out with Rihanna. Wow. He had a, what car was it? It wasn't a Dawn. It was a Rolls Royce. I forget which one it was. Yeah. But it was in the music video. Yeah. I forget which one it was. But apparently it was at a valet downtown at one of the hotels, I think the Royal Fairmont or something like that. And the valet scratched the wheels.
Shit.
So the main guy that does Drake's cars right now is Tony Bett. Amazing guy. Yeah. He's a great friend. You know, we haven't talked in a while, but I mean, we used to work together back in the days. And he needed these wheels refinished. So I refinished wheels for Drake back then, like almost 10 years ago. he probably doesn't even know it, but
yeah.
Yeah, that would be a dream collab. And you know what? Like, I'll tell you this. I work with a lot of the OVO guys now.
Yep.
I'm connected with pretty much all of them, you know, within this past 2 years now. But one thing, like even some of them, they're like, yo, like, don't you want to like work on his car? Or would you want to come by the crib? Or like, you know, just let's go see the boy. My response is, I don't ever want to feel like a groupie to anybody.
Yeah.
I know what their worth is. I know what my worth is at the end of the day. I would want like them to genuinely reach out themselves to be like, hey, like, let's connect, or like, let's work together, or like, hey, I would like to bring my car in. That way versus me being connected, just being like, just because they
like,
came.
Like, oh, this is my boy.
This is my boy. Yeah. Like, no, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be very like natural and just like, it flows on its own, where it came by its own, like,
it doesn't feel forced in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's like one of my dream collabs is to do with Drake. But yeah, like I love the brand. I love OVO. Of course, Nico's my close boy now too, you know, and like, we have another car we're doing for another OVO guy with Kai. So we're going to be starting that soon. We're in talks right now. So we'll see how it goes, bro.
Nice, bro. Well, let the people know where they can find you on social media and stuff, and what you got coming up.
So, I mean, you guys can hit me up on Instagram, Art In Motion Autocare. Facebook, I mean, I barely use. TikTok, I barely use, but the name is the same across the board. If you guys want to hit me up, you guys can come by the shop anytime. We're right here in Toronto, Canada. Eventually, we're going to be in the States. We will be worldwide. So make sure you guys connect. It's Art In Motion to the top, baby.
Yeah. Thank you again, bro. I appreciate you doing this. And I'll definitely have you back on the show, man. I appreciate you doing this again. And we're out, guys. Thank you guys again. All right.